Good morning. How the devil are you doing this Sunday? Hope you're all fit and well. Hope you're all warm and toasty. And for some reason, Gary Muirhead has just said good morning to my other half. I take it she's in the chat somewhere. Good morning, everyone. Been a bad week for construction giant Lang O'Rourke. 6 days ago, they posted a loss of £288 million. And then yesterday, as a few people have been mentioning in our WhatsApp group, there was a fatal accident on one of their sites in Oxford. If you were part of our conversation yesterday, it will probably come as no surprise to learn that the death was as a result of a fall from height. Will we ever learn? Will we ever stop people working at height? Can't come too soon, in my opinion. Now, speaking of the news, we learned yesterday that Sumitomo and Kubota are in talks about some kind of partnership agreement that could see the product ranges of both companies merging in some way. Don't know quite how. They haven't actually said. But I'm delighted personally, because in preparation for tonight's Predictions 2024 show, I watched the 2023 edition yesterday. And one of my predictions was that we would see more collaboration in the industry. Yeah, so I'm going to chalk that up as another tick against my 2023 predictions, and I will be gloating starting at 7 p.m. tonight. Join us if you can, and bring your own predictions with you. What do you think is going to happen in the next 12 months or thereabouts within the industry, or without? Take your pick. Entirely up to you. Just one final thing before we crack on with the show. I have this morning posted a new column on why I am relinquishing my CCDO card after 5 years. Now, deliberately, when I do mean this, I've deliberately placed the article behind a paid firewall, mainly because I can't be asked to deal with whinging training providers. But there is a free trial available, sort of. Now, I know that one of our number, Dan Cullen, has taken advantage of the free trial, and he's read the article already. But I also know that our friend Peter McKenna, who's literally just popped into the chat, tried to read the article and wasn't offered the free trial, so he can't read the piece. I've no idea what's going on. Completely out of my control. But if you'd like to have a try, you might well get the free trial. You might get to read the article. If you'd like to do so, you'll find the article, which is called A Pointless Piece of Plastic, in the chat right about now. Now, without further ado, let's actually get the show on the road, shall we? Without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road. It is Wednesday, the 6th of December. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, honouring the founder of Takeuchi, witnessing the power of mass excavation Liebherr, watching CASE SiteWatch in action, Bobcat's highly versatile vehicles, plus lowering a helipad just by a few feet, maybe a bit more. But first, we're going to peer back through the mists of time to see what was happening. What was happening on this day in history. Yeah, on this day in 1956, Nelson Mandela and 156 others were arrested for political activities in South Africa. In 1968, the Rolling Stones released their album Beggar's Banquet. It would prove to be the last featuring Brian Jones. In 1969, this one took me completely by surprise. In 1969, Oscar Brown Jr.'s musical Buck White closed at the George Abbott Theatre in New York after just 7 performances. Musicals closing after 7 performances, not that big a deal. But this one starred a certain Muhammad Ali in a musical. And maybe that's why it closed after just 7 performances. In 1995, singer Michael Jackson collapsed while rehearsing for an HBO special. And in 2017, Starbucks, I'm sure you've heard of them, Starbucks opened its largest coffee shop in Singapore. It sits in 30,000 square feet. It's half the size of a football pitch. Now, before we get into the real meat of the show, let me very quickly remind you of our question of the day. Yeah, our resident quizmaster, Mr. Gary Muirhead, returned with a nice, easy question of the day, and it is this: what is your favourite microwave meal? Now, I realise that my other half is watching, and obviously she provides me with cordon bleu cooking several times a day. We barely use our microwave at all. But what is your favourite microwave meal? You've come in after a hard day on site. Both you and the missus are too knackered and can't be bothered to cook anything whatsoever from scratch. So what is your go-to? What is your go-to? Personally, and I think I'm in agreement with Mr. Muirhead himself here, chicken tikka masala. Ideally, the one from Marks and Sparks. There's a Marks and Sparks about half a mile from my front door. If I've been out driving by, that would be my go-to if I were to ever use the microwave. I know, Ruth. I know you cook. But what about you? Let us know in the chat. What is your favourite? She's confessed. Hang on a minute. There she is. My other half, lasagna. Thank you very much indeed for that, Ruth. Now, let's get on with the show, shall we? Let's start with a bit of this. Our friend Andy Dovell just crept in when we weren't paying attention. I do need to question this one. Ken Hatcher, question today: beans on toast from a microwave? Is this a Welsh thing? Toast in a microwave? Surely that goes as soggy as hell, doesn't it? I think we need to know more about that. Now, much like the rock and roll industry, the construction equipment sector has its very own Hall of Fame over in the States. Not a lot of people know that. One of the latest people to be inducted by the Association of Equipment Manufacturers is the founder of a little-known mini excavator company that you might just have heard of.
In 1963, at the age of 29, Akio Takeuchi founded Takeuchi Manufacturing in Nagano, Japan. Early on, he learned that by listening to customers and understanding their needs, he would be able to achieve one of the most important factors for success: customer satisfaction. A few years later, a local business partner and builder approached Mr. Takeuchi and asked him to develop a machine that would help his employees do their jobs faster, easier, and with less manual labor. The result of this request was the world's very first compact excavator. Over the years, Takeuchi Manufacturing continued to grow, developing new innovations, and in 1986, the first compact track loader.
先を見てどうなるか想像しながら新しいものを発想していく力。15年前に誰も電気なんて復旧するなんて思ってなかったのが、そういう発想が生まれて独創的なアイディアで、今の製品になった。会長は社殿の中で挑戦っていうのは一番大事にしてると思うんですけど、挑戦っていうのは最初から諦めない。
Mr. Takeuchi established a corporate motto and business philosophy based on his customer-centric, need-based vision. The Takeuchi Way embraces the spirit of creation, challenge, and cooperation with a focus on environmental stewardship and positive societal contributions.
Mr. Takeuchi formed a team to create the best machine in the world. I remember to meet a man with a vision, a man with a mission. Still today, Mr. Takeuchi, you show the world that you believe in the future.
Mr. Takeuchi has always believed in the power of teamwork. He says there's virtually no limit to what dedicated people can accomplish together.
人のモノマネじゃダメだっていうことでね、とりあえずこういう仕事機械化できねえかとか、これで困ってるからなんとかそのね助けようっていうか、機械化して楽にしようとか、そういうことを絶えず考えて、そういう信念っていうか、それは大事だと思うね。
Today, Takeuchi Manufacturing continues to provide equipment designed to make short work of tough jobs. And Mr. Takeuchi still believes that when you put your customers' needs first, success will follow.
We're fortunate to learn from Mr. Takeuchi his willingness to listen to the customer, solve their problems, and create long-term values. I don't speak the same language as Mr. Takeuchi, but through his actions and deeds, I've been able to learn these values. Mr. Takeuchi, congratulations. Kaicho, omedetou gozaimasu.
We would like to congratulate and welcome Mr. Akio Takeuchi to the AEM Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that is a well-deserved honour, a remarkable accomplishment in a single lifespan. Kind of makes me wonder what I've been doing in my own life. But 15 years ago, Takeuchi had their first electric machine. Who knew? I certainly didn't. Right, should we crack on? I think we probably should.
If you are enjoying this episode, please consider supporting the show. You can leave us a tip at buymeacoffee.com/demolition news.
I'm just going to throw over to the chat very quickly, talking all things Takeuchi. Let's have a look. Ken Hatcher says, made in Japan, best in the world. That's a bold statement. Better than JCB for small excavators, well built and bloody powerful, says Peter McKenna. Andy Darvell just says, we've just learned how to pronounce his name properly. Fantastic small machines. And best reliability. Who knew? Pronounced how it's spelled. Yes, apparently it is. I've been saying Takeuchi for years. I need to remind myself to say Takeuchi, same as I need to constantly remind myself that it's pronounced Devellon. Now, shall we crack on with a bit of this?
If you are enjoying this episode, please consider supporting the show. You can leave us a tip at buymeacoffee.com/demolition news.
Yeah, now from mini excavators to something just a little bit bigger. We're off to see a Generation 8 Liebherr R938 mass excavation machine in action. And this is a tool. I honestly don't know how they do it, but Liebherr have managed to make that machine look kind of muscular. Really powerful looking tool. I'm going to throw over to the chat very, very quickly. Peter McKenna says, got to say their cranes are better built than their plant. I disagree wholeheartedly with that statement, but each to their own. Now, our friend Graham Footy Williams, who uses a text-to-speech system, It's led him down a little bit, but I've got the meaning. It says here, I like the Bears. I think that's Liebherr's. A really nice looking machine, powerful to operate. Yeah, I totally agree. And speaking of the Bears, as he has put it there, I will remind you, and she's not listening, so I'm going to do it anyway. My daughter heard me for a number of years talking about Liebherr, and she was convinced that it was a person. First name Lee, second name Bear. Never not funny. Thanks, Courtney. Liebherr. Gary Muirhead says, I remember Cat used to use the ME version of their equipment. Yeah, Mass X. Short stick, bigger bucket, Mass X. That was pretty much the scale of it. But yeah, an absolute tool. I think you'll agree. Let's have a look. Peter McKenna says, I'd rather drive a Cat or a Komatsu, much more plush in the cabs. Have you been in one of the Generation 8s, though? Oh, it's a lovely place to be. Now, should we crack on? Yes, let's. The next clip is what my dad would have called a bit of double bubble. We all like a bit of telematics, and I think we all like us a bit of case equipment as well. Well, we've stirred the two together to bring you this.
CASE is now making telematics easier and more intuitive with CASE SiteWatch, our next generation telematics platform. The SiteWatch platform comes with a dashboard, an intuitive navigation, and an overview section that spotlights critical information without requiring the user to search extensively through the portal. SiteWatch is easy to use whether you're in the office or out in the field, and it complies with AENP 2.0 telematics standards. This makes it deployable across mixed fleets of all sizes and allows you to view your entire fleet in a single interface. An easy drop-down menu provides access to critical reports on equipment utilization, fuel consumption and maintenance, and it's easy to set up additional reports that detail specific alerts and barcodes. Information from SiteWatch, such as alerts and reminders, can be shared with your crew and your dealer in real time to help expedite any service the machine may require. Working together to ensure optimum uptime and the greatest possible performance for your equipment, SiteWatch provides you with many benefits in addition to fleet management, including the ability to analyze workload and productivity, improve record keeping and long-term analysis, improve billing and estimating, and enhancing equipment security by preventing unauthorized use. CASE SiteWatch is the gateway to powerful information that will guide the health and performance of your fleet.
We talk a lot about equipment, don't we? Who makes the best excavator, the best backhoe, best wheel loader, dozer, dump truck and all that? Wonder who does the best telematics package. Anybody's got any thoughts on that? I'd love to hear from you. Now, I've got a question here from Gary Muirhead who says, is this a yearly subscription? I'm assuming, because of the timing of the question, that he's talking about the CASE telematics. That is how a lot of the telematics are being sold. It is like a year's or an annual license or an ongoing rolling monthly program. But if you are talking about the thing that I was talking about earlier, the fact that I've got an article behind a paywall, you can pay monthly, you can pay yearly. Not sure which one you're related to there, Peter, but I think I've answered the question there. Peter McKenna says, have you seen the new CASE tractors? They're amazing inside. Yes, they most certainly are. And Sean Grattan, didn't see Sean lurking there. Morning, Sean. Good of you to join us. Komatsu, he says, is the best telematics, but he is a little bit biased. And he also says it's free. So no commission for you then, Sean, but thank you very much indeed for pitching in and joining us. Peter McKenna is struggling with technology, saying bloody Facebook needed to install an update. Couldn't they have waited till the show had finished? You would think, given the global popularity of this show, that people at Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg would have personally intervened and said, you have to hang on until that bloke in the sunglasses has stopped babbling on. But no, apparently not. And there was Sean Grattan. The conversation's going backwards. Morning, sir. Yeah, good morning to you as well, Sean. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Right, should we have a bit of something else? What should we have next? I think we should have a bit of this.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
So, Bobcat. Terrific skid steer loaders, awesome compact track loaders, astonishing mini excavators, compact wheel loaders, and telehandlers. But vehicles?
You can work hard and play hard with a land-ready collection of Bobcat utility vehicle accessories. They keep you comfortable and productive all around your property. I'm Derek Holt with Bobcat. Let's take a closer look at the land-ready collection of accessories from Bobcat utility vehicles. These durable accessories come in handy to help you be more productive while driving and working around your land. The 3-position tip-out windshield provides reliable protection from the elements when closed, or it can be tilted out for additional ventilation. The windshield also features a gas strut assist and grab handle for easy open and close operation. The windshield wiper and washer help to clear your view of the travel path during inclement weather. Poly doors include hand roll-down glass windows, an interior liner, and keyed locks. You can enhance your visibility with adjustable door-mounted side view mirrors. The durable glass rear panel is scratch-resistant and provides protection from wind, inclement weather, and off-road dust or debris. The lightweight sport roof gives overhead protection from sun and elements to help you stay comfortable while you operate your vehicle. Protect the front and rear of the vehicle from brush and branches with corrosion-resistant, powder-coated, heavy-gauge brush guards. The Nerf bars are made from durable stamped steel and powder-coated. They offer additional protection for the sides of your utility vehicle. Increased visibility in the evening while working in low-light conditions with a set of LED work lights. Ideal for nighttime utility work, the fold-away 360-degree work light illuminates dark spaces all around your vehicle. You can power your roof-mounted lights with a simple flip of a switch utilizing the roof light harness kit. Listen to your favorite music with a Bluetooth-compatible audio system. With a roof rack, there are no more tools bouncing around your cab or cargo box. Bring everything you need wherever the trail takes you. Just use the easy-to-install roof rack mount to secure the rack to the roof of your utility vehicle. The eyelet tie-downs for this system attach to multiple places to help you secure your loads. Bring your jack wherever you go so you're prepared to change a tire without compromising cab or cargo box space. Simply mount it on the roof rack. Transport your cooler, toolbox, tackle box, and more with a set of corner cargo brackets. The slotted base allows for increased placement flexibility so you can mount it to fit your needs. Multi-purpose tool holders are available for the roof rack. They can secure a wide variety of long, narrow items like fishing rods, axes, shovels, rakes, and postal diggers. Easily swap from work to play. Keep your gear organized and secure. The aluminum bed box will store and transport your gear wherever you need to get your work done. Easily transport a chainsaw by adding a chainsaw mount to the cargo box. Use a ratcheting grip to transport tools safely and securely. These U-shaped grips mount directly to the cargo box. Add a front receiver hitch to use any standard 2-inch drawbar or multi-mount winch. This winch can also be mounted to the standard rear receiver hitch. It's rated to pull up to 4,500 pounds. Increase the top travel speed of your gasoline-powered UTV from 35 miles per hour to 40, utilizing a speed kit available from your dealer. With a land-ready collection of Bobcat UTV accessories, you can reach your destination with all the tools you need. Work hard and play hard. See your local Bobcat dealer for more information or visit bobcat.com.
Just going to say a very quick goodbye to Ken Hatcher. He's going back to work. Thanks for joining us, Ken. Have a good day, my friend. Just for the record, I live about a quarter of a mile from my local shops. That Bobcat vehicle, absolutely ideal. Bobcat, if you're watching, if I promise to wear my Bobcat hat, which is there, hang on a minute. There you are. That's a Bobcat hat right there. If I promise to wear that on every single episode going forward, any chance you could hook me up? No? Worth a shot, I guess. Andy Darvell, you and I are of one mind, sir. Can you not say bloody roof? Roof properly. He sounds an awful lot like a dog. Roof. Yes, indeed. That's the Americans for you. Two nations divided by a single language. because they've murdered it. Let's have a bit of this, shall we?
If you would like to buy a limited edition Break Fast show sticker, head on over to buymeacoffee.com/demolition news/extras.
Our final film really is just a quickie because I need to go and finish my preparations for tonight's Predictions 2024 show, 7 p.m. here, wherever it is you're watching. I know very little about the origins of this clip, but I'm assuming there can be no market for second-hand helipads. Yeah, don't think anyone's going to be landing on that anytime soon. That pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. I will quickly remind you, we're back here again at 7 o'clock tonight for our Predictions 2024 show, which looks a little bit like that. Only it's the real me rather than the AI me that will be presenting it. If you are around, please join us. But that pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. I am going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see... Oh dear, cornflakes this morning. Gone down the wrong hole, I think. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around, please stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. And I know I say stay safe like a throwaway thing, but if you happen to be working at height today, please stay safe. If you have the time and the inclination, stick around. The Craic will begin immediately after this final word from our key show sponsor. Okay, got the music. Fantastic stuff. How are we all doing today? I know if you were a latecomer, the news. Oh, there's so much news. Yes, Kubota and Sumitomo apparently are looking at some kind of joint venture in which that will allow the two of them to kind of share product ranges. So could we see Kubota going into MIDI and even proper size excavators? Or could we see Sumitomo taking Kubota machines? Still waiting to find out exactly what the fallout from that is going to be. That's an interesting one. Lang O'Rourke last week posted £288 million loss. Yesterday they had a fatality, fall from height on one of their sites in Oxford. And if you've seen the, I think it's Construction News today, you will know that Squibb Group, which was wound up, I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, has been wound up, but they are now under investigation for tax fraud. Somebody give me some good news, would you? I suppose the Sumitomo and Kubota stuff is good news, but yes, could do with a bit more good news about the place. So if anybody's got anything to brighten my day, please let me know. And there you are, as if by magic, to brighten my day. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, everybody, says our friend Gary Muirhead. Gary, good morning, and thank you for another corker of a question of the day. Jim Turner is here as well. Good morning, Jim. Good morning, good morning. Ken Hatcher, who I think has probably now left us, has probably gone to warm up somewhere, but he was here as well, third on the list. Chris Ford says, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Another fresh day in paradise. I can only assume that his tongue was planted firmly in his cheek when he wrote that. Let's have a look. Good morning, Mrs. Demolition News, and good morning, Mr. Muirhead. The affair continues right under my nose. Good morning, says Graham Footy Williams. Afternoon, says Peter McKenna. He was like 2 minutes late. I don't think that quite counts. Graham Footy Williams was doing Candy Crush, just got to level 9,994. Is that good? Is that good? I don't know. This is a thing that happens in a parallel universe. My wife plays Candy Crush. Ruth, if you're still watching, what level are you on? Let us know. What is your favourite microwave meal? That was our question of the day from our friend Gary Muirhead, and he answered his own question. He said, chicken tikka masala. Mine too. I have to say, all joking aside, our microwave is generally used more for heating up soup or baked beans or for reheating something from the day before. Very rarely gets an outing as an actual cooking device, if you take my meaning. Jim Turner, we mentioned the fall from height that had killed the guy on the Langer O'Rourke site yesterday. It's not the working at height, it's hitting stuff on the way down. Seen plenty of scaffolders that always wear harnesses but never clip them to anything. It's given the fact that it is the biggest single killer in the industry, falls from height. Can we all now assume, A, I'm not going to go down this path again because I think I've probably said all I need to say on it. A, the training isn't working, and B, harnesses are just not being used. It is time to take men off working at height, and women, take them off working at height, because if they're not up there, they can't fall. Simple as. Glenn Johnston is in the house. Good morning, Glenn. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Now, I did a quick rundown, including details of Muhammad Ali being in a musical. How the hell that came about, I have no idea. But Peter McKenna has shared some other from this day in history. The Feast of St. Nick, popularly known as Santa Claus. He is the patron saint of children. The name Santa Claus is a phonetic alteration from the German Sankt Niklaus and the Dutch Sinterklaas. I think you're looking these up, Peter. I don't think this is coming straight out of your brain at all. He also says 1768, the first edition of Encyclopedia Britannica was published in Edinburgh. Probably had a bit of an accent then in that case. He also says 1897, the world's first fleet of motorised taxi cabs started operating in London. I was in one of the originals just the other night, actually. And in 1977, is that all he is? 1977, the birth of Andrew Freddie Flintoff, English and Lancashire cricketer and bad Top Gear driver as well. Question of the day, heating up a roast dinner when I get home from work. Yeah, as I say, to my mind, it's largely a reheating tool. Other people have got a different opinion. There's my wife saying lasagna. Yes, that's a corker as well. Now, I had to clarify this. Ken Hatcher did say beans on toast, which had me aghast. Aghast, I says. Toast out of a microwave is going to be like one of those awful handshakes that you get. Oh, pleased to meet you. You know, all those. I digress. Turns out he wasn't talking about that. He did actually come back and clarify and says, no, beans in the microwave, toast in the toaster. Thank the Lord for that. I thought we'd uncovered something really weird in Wales, like we need anything else. Great. Footy Williams says, Massacre is one. Chicken tikka masala from Iceland's direct. Yummy. Totally agree. Peter McKenna says, I find lots of pre-packed microwave meals either taste cheap and nasty or are very bland. Yeah, although I have to say, some of the stuff that Iceland are doing now, where they actually say, this is spicy, they actually mean it. And I'm talking to somebody, I don't think I'm quite on Peter McKenna's level, but I do like me a bit of chili. If there's enough chili in something to make me... I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying that. And some of the stuff from Iceland at the moment, yeah, when they say spicy, they actually mean it. Chris Ford says, farm food, special chow mein, nice and tasty. Not had that one. Bizarrely, when my dad was ill and my mum had just passed away, myself and my sister were buying him ready meals. Now, my father, for as long as I knew him, like all my life, he was strictly meat and two veg. If it didn't swim up the Thames, he didn't eat it. He had a very, very, very limited window of food that he would eat. You know, it was steak, or it was lamb chops, or it was chicken breast or something like that. But my sister once, out of sheer desperation to give him something different, bought him I think it was a Tesco chow mein. I laughed because I thought he'd throw it straight in the bin. He ate it, loved it. He spent his entire life criticising foreign food as foreign muck, and turns out he actually liked it after all. See, got to try these things. Andy Darvell says sweet and sour chicken. Now, I partly agree, but only partly. There is, as I say, there's a Marks and Spencer's. It's one of these wild bean cafe things. It's part of a petrol station, but there's one about half a mile away from where I'm sat right now, and they do one. But theirs is you put the chicken in the oven because it's coated. It's coated with batter or something, but you put the rice and the sauce in the microwave. So it's a bit of half and half, but well worth it. Question of the day is Jim Turner says, the only time I use a microwave is if there's no George Formby grill in the cabin, and then it's probably cheapo pizzas. Yeah, and unfortunately I'm with Peter on this. Rubber pizzas out of microwave. They do that thing, don't they? I don't know what that is, but you get the idea. Now we threw up Mr. Aiko Takeuchi, who's just been inducted into the Association of Equipment Manufacturers Hall of Fame. Jim Turner says he should be, because they make brilliant machines. We've had ones for years. It's brilliant. Yeah, it is one of the originals, and I think one of the best. As I say, I've always had a bit of an affinity with the Kubota band, mainly because I I did the PR for Kubota for about a decade or thereabouts, back about 1,000 years ago. So I've always had a bit of a connection with Kubota. Like to see Kubota doing well. But Takeuchi, oh yeah. And Yanmar as well. Got a bit of a soft spot for Yanmar. Mark Whiting joined us as well. Good morning, Mark. How are you? I hope you're fit and well. Good call, that one. Japan's JCB, says Gary Muirhead. Although I would imagine Aiko Takeuchi probably sees JCB as Britain's Takeuchi. How do you cut it? I don't really know. Footy Williams says, the dump truck's terrible. The 25-ton truck's worst brand going. It breaks down all the time. Not sure who that was talking about. Quite a few of the diggers they've done were out of this world. Brilliant. I can only assume it's Takeuchi. Takeuchi make a 25-ton dump truck. Do they? Did not know that. There's Ken Hatcher saying, made in Japan, best in the world. Peter McKenna going better than JCB for small excavators. Well built, bloody powerful. And there's Andy Darvell. Yeah, the number of times something comes up on one of these videos and it proves that I've been doing it wrong all along. And as I said, I actually watched back last year's, well, it wasn't last year's, it was actually first thing this year, January of this year, the Predictions 2023 episode. And we were talking, somebody mentioned the fact that, it was Al Grierson actually, Al Grierson predicted that there would be a rebranding of Doosan, but it was on the same day that Doosan had actually announced that they were rebranding as, and at the time I was going, well, it looks like Develop. So I'm going Develon. Only until we got to ConExpo a few months later and somebody said it's not Develop, it's Develon. You get the idea. So yes. Well built, reliability, yes indeed. Peter McKenna, Takeuchi. Pronounce how it's spelled. Has anyone ever seen the episode of the old Top Gear with Messrs. Clarkson, Hammond and May, when Ryan Reynolds was the guest? He was driving around the track, and at one point he mentioned the fact that one of his favourite cars was a Jaguar. Now, he's Canadian, you have to make allowances. He said Jaguar, and Jeremy Clarkson, quick as a flash, said it's Jaguar, how it's spelt. Yeah, it is. Question of the day, going back to microwave meals, the night before's dinner for my lunch the next day. I do think... Okay, so we sometimes get a Chinese takeaway, and a Chinese takeaway reheated the following day is a bit claggy and a bit sticky and a bit... I still like it, but a reheated curry from the night before, oh, now you're talking. Now you're talking. I could murder a chicken tikka masala right about now, actually. Oh dear. Peter McKenna. It's called Takeuchi, because it sticks in your mind. Yeah. Peter McKenna claims that Liebherr's cranes are better built than their plant. We will agree to disagree on that, mainly because I tend to ignore their cranes completely, but also because I'm a bit of a closet Liebherr fan. Liebherr. First name Lee, second name Bear. Putty says, I like the Liebherr's, nice machine to operate, very powerful. And he says, So Kind Demolition like to use. I don't know who's So Kind Demolition, but he does come back and says that Gaywoods are Liebherr as well. Yes, I think they are. There we are. Gary Muirhead says, I remember Cat using the ME version of their equipment. Yeah, it was Mass X, so it was a shorter dipper, bigger bucket. Can't remember if they did something with the undercarriage as well, beefed that up as well. But yeah, that is the Mass X configuration. Peter McKenna says, I'd rather drive a Cat or a Komatsu, much more plush in the cabs. Funnily enough, when would it have been? It would have been October last year. I got to sit in one of the Generation 8 Liebherr machines. It's a lovely place to be. Absolutely fantastic. Is this a yearly subscription? I'm thinking that's about the SiteWatch. My guess, therefore, is that it probably is. Have you seen the new CASE tractors? They're amazing inside. I haven't, but I can imagine sometimes at some of these international exhibitions like ConExpo and this kind of thing, CASE do bring along a few tractors just as a point of interest, and they are very, very smart indeed. Sean Grattan is here flogging the Komatsu brand. He reckons that Komatsu do the best telematics system, and it's free, he says. It's well worth knowing. Jim Turner has spotted a very specific use for the Bobcat vehicle. He wants to go and shoot stuff out of the lift-up windscreen. Would be handy, and I have to say, be fantastic for fishing as well. Casting would be a bit of a problem. That's casting, just in case you're wondering. Casting would be a bit of a problem, but imagine being sat there, window up, roof up, all sat there nice and cozy, maybe the radio on. Wouldn't have to worry about landing fish because I very rarely catch anything. So yeah, all good. Now, Graham Footy Williams says, Can-Am do a lot of those vehicles as well. Can-Am? Don't know who Can-Am are. Now, the Corvus UTV looks better. Corvus UTV. See, I'm out of my comfort zone here. I don't know anything about utility vehicles. It was purely the fact that it had Bobcat written on the side. That was all that attracted me. Ken Hatcher was leaving. Peter McKenna waved goodbye. And my apologies to Peter McKenna. Bloody hell, Mark, you could have warned me to turn the TV down. He is watching on the TV. My head is... I mean, my head's quite big anyway, but my head is absolutely enormous on his nice flat screen TV. And there we are, playing an explosive demolition without warning. My apologies. Andy Darvell says, Wallop, what a lovely blowdown. Yeah. Lovely blowdown, assuming they weren't planning to reuse that helipad. If they were, they kind of screwed up there. If your breakfast had gone down the wrong hole, you wouldn't be here now, Mark. I think I was taking on board far too much air, and there's a reason for it. I considered the time, and I thought, I'm sure I've got time to have some cornflakes. And the clock was ticking down, and I still had half a bowl. So I was gulping the bloody things down. So I think I've swallowed too much air. My apologies. Peter McKenna says he is breathing just, but thanks for asking. Yeah, come on. Now, Peter, get yourself well soon, would you? We want you back firing on all cylinders. Jim Turner says, fingers crossed, Kubota start making bigger machines. Well, there is, and I know there is. Can I find it? I don't know how well this is going to display for you. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Let me get it somewhere sensible. Can you see that? Let me do it that way. Get it away from the light. Don't know if you can see that. That is a Kubota badged Sumitomo. Apparently that image has been doing the rounds a little bit. So yes, it's out there. It could well be. Now, again, we don't know quite what the crossover will be. Is it Kubota going up? Is it Sumitomo coming down? Where they'll be available, we don't know any of that, but it would be an interesting one. Love to see Kubota start offering bigger machines. Excuse me, I'm sure their dealers would be delighted as well. Peter McKenna, I think we're back on Candy Crush. I think level 20k. I was level 20k when I deleted it last year. I think if you've got to level 20,000, you probably do need to delete it. I think women should be working at heights instead of men. As they say, they have more brains and common sense than men. Let them prove it. I don't want that. I'd rather just not have people working at height. That just seems a much more sensible way forward, to be honest. Andy Darvell says, I rarely use my microwave now anyway. My oven only gets used now to cook a pizza. Pretty much everything now I cook in my 2 air fryers. They are bloody brilliant. Bought one first and cooked everything in it. Thought I might be able to do a full roast dinner in them, so I bought another one. Roast chicken, roast potatoes, and Yorkshires are amazing in air fryers. Just think of them as tiny, efficient ovens. Our air fryer gets an awful lot of use. We'd had one for quite some time. I think we're on number 3, actually. We've had one for quite some time. But because we all had time, I say we, my family, more than me, but because we all had time to kind of experiment a bit, during COVID, when we were all baking banana bread and sourdough and stuff, we got to play around a lot more with our air fryer. It gets an outing at least once a day now. Absolutely right. Mick Norton's in the house. Morning, Mick. We have mentioned the Lang O'Rourke accident yesterday, which saw somebody killed by a fall from height. You missed that, but if you've got any comments on that, Mick, I'd love to hear from you. Graham Footy Williams says, did you see the clip I sent you about Komatsu Electric sending one from this country to Sweden? I think it was. I haven't. I have to be honest, I have taken a bit of a step back from WhatsApp for the last 2 days because I've got my this evening's show to prepare for, which looks like that. That's 7 p.m. tonight. So I've been preparing for that. I was also writing my article about why I'm giving up my CCDO card, and if you'd like to read that, and I won't bore you with the details of firewalls and all that sort of stuff, but that's where it is. It's called a pointless piece of plastic. If you'd like to read that, you certainly can. So yes, I've been so concentrated on writing and various other bits and pieces, and I'm also doing quite a bit of planning for the new year as well. Bit of a change up with the way that we present the thumbnails for this show, but also some of the way that we're going to be working. The show itself is not going to change, but I do want to become more efficient because I want to be able to do more. I want to be able to do more video. I want to be able to do more writing as well. So we are having a bit of a change up. So my apologies. I have been neglecting WhatsApp somewhat, but I will go and take a look as soon as the show is over, Footy, and see what the electric Komatsu is all about. That pretty much wraps things up, I think. As I say, I do have to go and get ready for tonight's show. I've looked back at some of the predictions that people made, both myself and others as well. For example, I can tell you that one of the suggestions that Ken Hatcher came up with, as he's not here anymore, was he believed that JCB may launch a 35-ton class X-Series excavator. No, they have not. So there's a cross against Ken Hatcher's prediction. Gary Muirhead made quite a few predictions. Don't think he gets many ticks either, but there's quite a few to go through. I think I did better than I expected. I thought I'd only got 2 right. I think I've actually got 3 or 4. 3 or 4. Yes, that's why they pay me the big bucks, you see. That's finger on the pulse and stuff. So tune in tonight, 7 p.m, and we'll go through last year's predictions and laugh at ourselves at just how stupid we were. And we'll also look ahead to 2024 and see if we can come up with something a little more accurate this time around. If you fancy a bit of that, please join me, 7 p.m, wherever you're watching this. I'll be back. Till then, everybody, go and have a fantastic day. All the very best.